Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this video. We're going to be looking at some footage from this video as I set the hook on one right there. This is a video from 2 years ago, so it has been a while, but thought I would dust it off and use it as a way to just talk to you a little bit about my favorite river bass techniques. That's a good one right there. See the bait there in its mouth that I'll talk about here as well. But this is on the Mississippi. This is a pretty pressured area that we have because it's an awesome resource here in Minnesota. It's power plants, part of the river up here in northwest suburb. Our winters can be pretty brutal, and so yeah, I'm not a huge ice fisherman, so being able to kind of take a break from that and you come up here and it's open, year round as long as that power plant's running, and get into some smallmouth like this. It's just really awesome. But again, it's gotten a lot of pressure over the past 5 years or so. See, it's not like it used to be, but if you find those sweet spots and you kind of do something a little bit different than everyone else, you can still have 30, 40 fish days. The other thing that makes it a little bit more difficult is a lot of people go out and throw live bait. That's just not my style. I don't enjoy doing that. So when they're surrounding you throwing live bait, it's almost like throwing steaks to the wolves. they're gonna be chomping on those sucker minnows a little bit more than your baits, but it's just even more rewarding when you can get into them. But I'm gonna apply these tactics to around the country, and anyone that has a river system with current and hold smallmouth, these tips can apply. As I hook into another one there. So the bait I'm using here is in this video I use 2 different baits, and I think I have a handful of fish catches included. This was one of those 30 to 40 fish days, so I just had to cut it down into a 10-minute video. But what I'm throwing at first here is it's kind of my go-to. It's just a jig head, a swivel lock jig head, or twist on. It's got a smallie beaver on it. You could throw just about anything, grubs on it, your other favorite craws. But that smallie beaver, it's one of my confidence baits. I'm setting into another one here. Man, they fight so hard, but then you add that element of current, and it's a fight unlike what you get in a lake, unless it's a 5-6 pounder. But this river system, you'll get a lot of 2 and 3s. 4s are pretty uncommon, but you'll find them once in a while. But as far as a tip for baits, I like to really throw what I would throw in a lake, but maybe downsize a little bit. So that's why I'm throwing that smallie beaver. And then later in this video, you'll see me catching 1 or 2 on a jerkbait, smaller jerkbait. So a few tips, get a really good pair of waders. Find, again, a local river system that has some current in it, some deeper water. And one of the things I do to find sweet spots is I will walk around up and down the river, and I will walk out from the shoreline, and I'll find quick drops. It quickly drops into deeper water from that shoreline. And then what I'll do is I will go up river, and I will find the nearest spot where it extends out so I can walk quite a ways off like I am here. This is actually An easy way to find it is I'm actually upriver from the boat launch. So the boat launch is naturally going to be a ditch, a deeper spot. So I'll go to the upper part of that and throw into the ditch and let that current just kind of take my bait. You don't need to move it a whole lot. Again, because of the amount of current, it's going to be swaying back and forth, almost going to be doing the work for you. So I really don't move my rod a whole lot. I just kind of let it, just like a smallie beaver almost, is a replica of a larger bug insect. So, that's what they're feeding on anyways. So it just kind of current takes it, flows it right into their area, and I wait to get bit. It's pretty easy stuff. But the other way I find these areas, look for swings in the river. So up a little bit, probably half mile, uh, is a really heavy current flow, but then it swings off to the south, and it actually breaks that current up quite a bit. So that's why when you are looking at this video, it looks pretty calm compared to what it is, just like I said, a half mile up. So that's another thing to look at. Look at those river swings. Third thing I'd do is go on the Navionics website, and there's a free web application. Some of the river systems are included on there for contour lines. It's a good way to again look for those ditches and those eddies. You can also I'll link that description to the web app, but then you can also download the free Navionics app on your phone. It's good for Android and Apple. So you can do that. Again, the waders are key. I mean, I invested in good waders. I mean, you're going to be walking quite a bit, and there's a lot of debris and sharp rocks that can cut into the waders. But invest in a good pair, and I mean, I've had mine for 5 years now, and haven't had any issues. I think they're Columbia. But as far as my setup for the rod and reel, unfortunately, this rod ended up breaking after making this video. But this was my favorite setup of all time. Uh, it was the original Shimano Kumara 7.2 medium heavy. I just love that length, especially if you're deeper, like this water is almost up to my belly button, and to get the leverage on the fish, I'm holding that rod up quite a ways, right at my face level, and so that longer length, especially with this current and how they fight, having that longer length is just absolutely perfect river rod. Um, but then the reel I have, this is where I switch over to the jerkbait. As you can see there, it's a Rapala X-Rap, smaller size. And I'll show a picture of it here too. But the reel, I have Shimano Stratix CI4, and this was the 2500 size. And one of the issues I found with line, I love when I'm fishing lakes, I'll do braid as my main line to a fluorocarbon leader. In this case, the braid just freezes up because of the air temperature. So you can get some sprays. You saw a lot of guys using it at this last or two classics ago. I forget what lake I think it was Hartwell, where it was really cold mornings. They were spraying that stuff on their reels. That stuff works pretty well, but still, the guides freeze up, and the braid is just really bad on your reel with the air temperatures. So if you don't have that issue in your area, I would still go braid fluorocarbon leader. But in this video, I'm using 10-pound Carbon Pro. And I like that because it's just a little bit heavier than the 8-pound and it doesn't nick as easily on the rocks. So that's my setup. And as you see, bringing a pretty good one there. Kind of scary grabbing at treble hooks. But thanks for watching, guys.